Oh yeah, lightning is ready!
Hey everyone, Leo Bond here. I'm back again today for the blog at Best Buy Canada, and this time I've got the Ultimate Lightning McQueen from Sphero. So if you're a big fan of Disney Pixar's Cars franchise, then you're probably going to be pretty excited about this one. And honestly, I really think that this is the most unique and complex toy that Sphero has ever released. It's certainly something different for them, and that is definitely a good thing. So what we're going to do is we'll take a quick close-up look at Lightning here. I'll give you some of his key specs and features. I'll show him in action and discuss a few ways that you can play with him. And by the end of the video, I'll let you know my overall verdict. Let's get to it. Okay, so Sphero's Ultimate Lightning McQueen really has a whole lot going on in comparison to other Sphero releases. For example, he's got 6 different motors built in, including one to control his steering, multiple motors that give him an emotive suspension system, and one for his animatronic mouth, which means that when Lightning talks, you actually see his mouth move, and that is pretty cool. And he's also equipped with a lifelike voice and realistic engine sounds, working LED head and tail lights that can adjust their brightness according to how much ambient light there is in the room. There's actually built-in sensors to detect that. And he's also got various responsive touch sensors, so that he knows, for example, when you pick him up or when you're holding him in an awkward position, and believe me, he'll let you know about that too. But best of all, at least in my opinion, is the trapezoidal-shaped LCD screen that sits just behind his windshield and gives Lightning his very expressive eyes. And those eyes really bring this cool little race car to life when you see them staring back at you. It's really quite awesome, and I must say that Sphero has done an excellent job of making their Lightning McQueen look very authentic and true to his movie self. But anyway, among Lightning's key specs are a 30-meter range, a top speed of 6 miles per hour, so just under 10 kilometers an hour, and 40 minutes of total playtime on a full battery charge. And I have to comment on each of these details in their own turn here, because number one, I did not get 30 meters of range when I was testing my Lightning McQueen here. I might have got 8 or 10 meters at best before continually losing the signal. Of course, Lightning uses Bluetooth to communicate with your smart device through the Lightning McQueen app, so I was a little bit disappointed with the effective range that I was getting during my testing. However, I never really like to entirely blame the product whenever something like this happens, because my phone could just as easily be the culprit. And you know, I don't often really get to test the range on these Sphero products quite as well as I would like to, mostly because I just don't have anywhere near the indoor space necessary to do it in. But in this case, I took Lightning down to the local tennis courts to see what that 6 miles per hour of speed was going to look like. So I did have the room to see how far he would go in this case, and he just didn't get all that far at all before dropping the signal. And this actually happened quite a few different times, pretty much whenever I got more than a few meters away. So I'm really not too sure what the problem was there. Anyway, as for that 6 miles per hour of speed, I did want to mention that it may not seem all that fast for a car of Lightning's size, which by the way is about 10 inches long by 5 wide and 3 deep, at least roughly. But when you consider that this car is geared mostly towards a younger audience with a recommended age range of around 8 and up, chances are people of that age are not going to really find him slow at all. If you're expecting a hobby-grade racing machine here, you will be disappointed, but if you're just a big Cars fan, or a Lightning McQueen fan in particular, I think you're going to be pretty happy with it. And honestly, it didn't even feel all that slow to me when I was out driving it around, and I think that for indoor use, it's probably just about the perfect speed anyway, because it's relatively easy to control, and you're not as likely to be constantly running into things. Now, I did want to quickly mention something about Lightning's 40 minutes of total running time when fully charged. It did seem to hold true for me, with the charging itself taking approximately 1 hour. But what's really cool about this is the way that Lightning actually charges up. He's got a standard wall adapter that comes with 4 different plug-in attachments for outlet configurations around the world, so you'll probably be able to charge Lightning up in most countries without having to bring a separate adapter along, so that's very cool. But the really fun part is that the input end of the charging cord plugs into Lightning's gas tank opening, so it looks and feels just like you're giving Lightning a full tank of gas whenever he's charging up. And I thought that was a very nice little touch by Sphero. And also his lights flash while he's charging to let you know that he is charging, and there's also a battery level indicator in the app to let you know how much of that full tank of gas that Lightning has used at any given point in time. So some very clever and useful ideas there. And speaking of the Lightning McQueen app, it is compatible with most Android and iOS based devices, but as I always say, it is a good idea to check Sphero's online FAQs just to ensure that your own personal device is going to be compatible with this guy before buying. Now, as for Lightning's in-app features, there are 5 different modes that you can choose from. There's one called driving, which is pretty much just what it sounds like. There's a main control pad, a turbo boost button, a reverse button, and also a button to make Lightning do automatic donuts, which he is really good at. And of course, there's also a feature called Actors Studio, and with this one, you basically have the ability to choose from different pre-recorded lines and sound effects to create a script for Lightning to recite. And you can pretty much make him say any of his many catchphrases in whatever order that you want. So that one's pretty cool. And there's also the challenging pit stop panic game, where you have to give Lightning gas and oil and new tires and all of that, and get him back out onto the track as fast as possible. And I think that this one might be my personal favorite of the entire app. It's really fast paced. I don't think I was particularly good at it, but it was a lot of fun. Now, there's another mode called Racing that has all these different racetracks that you can go and virtually race on. And as you drive your real-life Lightning McQueen on the ground or the floor or whatever, a small virtual version will appear on your screen to show you how you're doing. And you'll also be able to see the virtual cars that you're racing against, so you'll know whether you're winning or losing or whatever. And you can even unlock more different racetracks over time, or you can go to a different part of the app altogether to see all of your awards and trophies. So that one's kind of fun. And finally, there's even an option to sit back and watch the Cars movie with Lightning and see how he reacts, which is just like the Watch With Me feature of the Sphero Star Wars droids, only I believe in this case they're calling it Drive-In. And I haven't tried this feature yet myself, but maybe this will be my chance to finally see the Cars movie. Anyway, Lightning McQueen is by far Sphero's most complicated toy to date, and honestly, I'm barely scratching the surface of what he can do here in this review. I haven't even mentioned some things like his built-in speaker or his special adaptable tires that allow him to drift on a variety of different driving surfaces, pretty much anything from pavement to carpet, and also at various different speeds. But, you know, sometimes you just can't say it all, so that is where we're going to leave off for now. Lightning McQueen is definitely a very cool toy with an awful lot going on, and I do like him quite a bit myself, but I don't know that he's necessarily going to appeal to everyone because he is Sphero's most advanced product so far, and that does require a bit more of an investment to pick him up. So you may need to be a pretty hardcore Cars fan in order to do that. Anyway, if you'd like to read all about Lightning here, be sure to check out my complete written review over at Best Buy Canada's blog, where you'll also find reviews of all the other latest toys, tech gadgets, and pretty much the full scope of what Best Buy has to offer. It's a great resource, and you just never know what might be featured on any given day, so certainly worth checking out. But that's all from me for now, so until next time, I'd just like to thank you all for watching, have an excellent day, and I'll see you soon.
Have I mentioned that I love your garage?